We're live.
All right, everyone, welcome. I'd like to call to order this April 11th, 2024 Planning Commission meeting. With that, do we have any public comments not relating to our agenda items?
Yes, would you speak into your microphones better so we older people can hear better?
I understand that. We'll try to talk loud for you too.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Any other comments? No? All right. Our third item on the agenda today, we're going to be nominating and electing a chair. Do we have any nominations?
I nominate Aaron Rooney for chair.
I'll second that.
Any other nominations? I assume not. So with that, Brent Linford,
Yes?
Kaylee Mills,
Yes.
Lloyd Lentz,
Yes.
Aaron Rooney.
Yes?
All right, got our chair.
With that, let's nominate and elect our vice chair. I'd like to, can I make a motion?
Yes, you can.
Nominate Kaylee.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second for Kaylee. Brent Linford,
Yes?
Kaylee Mills.
Do I abstain from that or do I vote?
If you abstain, it's a no vote, so you're voting against
Okay,
yourself.
yes.
Aaron Rooney,
Yes.
Lloyd Lentz.
Yes.
All right, 4-0. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, moving forward, item number 5. Let's approve some of our previous minutes. We've got 2 minutes from the January 11th, 2023 meeting and minutes from March 14th. Do I have motions for?
Yeah, and I was just gonna, we can do them separately. The January 11th, there's only 2 of you left on the commission from that meeting, so you, that would be you, Mr. Rooney, and Ms. Mills. So as long as you guys vote and say it's okay, then we'll be able to, have those approved.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from January.
I'll second them.
All right, and I assume that's a yes from both of you?
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
perfect. Yeah, now we have the March 14th minutes, which the 3 of you, except Mr. Lentz, can vote on.
I make a motion to approve the March minutes.
I'll second that.
All right. And I'm assuming you're all aye on that?
Yes.
Perfect, 3-0. Thank you.
All right, moving forward. Our first PC application for the day, number 20-13, discussion and possible action on a request for approval of the final subdivision plat for the 63 residential lots and the final subdivision plat for the 53 lots within the R1 PUD for Mission Hills, Section 2, Phase 2, and 3, located in the southwest quarter of the Section 20, Township 16 North, Range 2 West, between Davis Road and the existing Mission Hills residential subdivision. Staff, can I get a report?
Thank you. And I realized that for some reason I didn't include the staff report in there. I had all the other documentation except the staff report. But these are what would be Phase 2 and 3, or will be called Section 3 and 4 of the Mission Hills development, which is the Ideal Homes development that is on the west side of the existing Mission Hills subdivision. The preliminary plat was approved back in 2021. Along with the planned unit development for that. In 2022, the subdivision plat for Phase 1 was approved, and most recently at the City Council meeting on the 19th of March, they accepted all of the improvements for Phase 1 and also the dedication for the realignment of Prairie Grove Road. So as you see on the map, this would take in basically 2 areas to the west to the north, to the north of Phase 1. There was one of the entrances that was put in for Phase 1. Phase 2 will include that second entrance off of Davis Road. And that's pretty much it. So if you have any other questions, and the applicant is here if you have any questions of them.
Staff, did you have a recommendation?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot that I slipped on the staff report in there. But yeah, the recommendation, it was reviewed by our engineer, Myers Engineering, and our Public Works, and everybody is signed off on the improvement plans and the plat and that for phases 2 and 3. So staff would recommend approval of both subdivision plats.
Also,
And I should add that there would be the standard conditions that we put with those, which are, they'd have to put up a bond for the improvements. We won't issue any certificate of occupancies or building permits until all the improvements have been done in that. So it will have those standard conditions.
okay. I'm having a little trouble with the topographic map. This is outside of the flood zone, right?
Yeah, because the only area that was in the flood zone was in the very southwest part of the property. And that was one of the reasons that Prairie Grove Road was realigned. If it
Okay.
would have stayed in its current right-of-way, would have had to put a bridge and a lot of other improvements. By moving it to the north, we were able to get away from having to do extensive amount of work. And that right-of-way still remains open, but it just won't be maintained. But the easements and even access will still remain, so we're not going to vacate that area.
Okay. And there won't be any dwellings in that area?
No, correct, yeah, just like the preliminary plat had, that's gonna be their common area, because even with phase 1, there's an area that is in that floodplain area that will be their park common area, and that will continue, basically through the whole subdivision.
I make a motion to approve with the recommended
Conditions,
conditions.
standard conditions.
Yes.
All second.
Okay, thank you. Brent Limford,
Yes.
Kaylee Mills,
Yes.
Aaron Rooney,
Yes.
and Lloyd Lentz.
Yes.
Thank you. 4-0.
All right, next, PC application number 24-002, discussion and possible action on a request to rezone a property from C2 for a multi-building commercial restricted manufacturing development for a 5.87 acre property located in the 1300 block of East Triplet Road. The PUD includes a request for an exception to the timing and installation of improvements. Staff.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This property is located at the very end of Triplet Road, right along I-35, as you see on the map there. The applicant is looking to build a building for his current business. He's Artistic Granite that currently resides on South Division Street, and he's currently leasing that, so he bought this property to build a building for their business. And when looking over the potential uses in that, we decided to go the route of doing it as an I-1, which is limited manufacturing, just because down the road there won't be any issues with uses, because there could potentially be that gray area between what's allowed in a C2 versus an I-1. So by going to I-1, it takes care of that, potential uses or conflict of uses. With that, the I-35 corridor, even through our general plan, has been looked at as our industrial kind of corridor, or where we would grow our industries and have industrial zoning. And the other thing with the PUD is, obviously, it would, one of the things that would allow is like conditions or exceptions to be had. So one of the exceptions that they were requesting is the timing of installation of improvements, which is basically the driveway. So the drive aisle from, or where it has access drive from the actual road up into the first building, they're looking to defer that improvements for 18 months to help basically with the financing of the entire project. The parking area would still be paved for the actual parking and the ADA parking. in that. And then as part of the PUD, so again, we didn't have any issues down the road. They were looking to potentially have a future building, which would be the one to the west in that. So that was included as part of it as well. So I think I covered most everything. You had all of my comments and, justification, if you want to say, for the planned unit development and some of the land use. So with that, staff would recommend approval of the PUD for the multi-building commercial industrial development with the condition that the allowance of the paving for the access drives be gravel, and the paving for the access drives must be completed within 18 months of the issuance of the certificate of occupancy for the first building. Second, that the driveway approach and minimum parking, including ADA, would have to be paved. And then finally, the standard condition that because it's a PUD, if they were looking for any amendments, they would have to go through this same process. So with that, I give it back to the commission, and the applicant is here if you have any questions of them.
First, I guess I just want to touch base again on PUDs. We've had, just so everyone is on the same page, we've done these before, and they are specific to the situation. So if
Right.
anything transfers from one owner to another, they have to come back through the city if they want to change their plans. This is, what they have here is what we're going to get, unless they come through this process and it's open to the public again.
Correct.
So, okay. Also, for a layman like me, remind me again that I'm new to this.
It's like
designation.
it's basically a limited manufacturing. It's kind of like a warehouse distribution, light manufacturing zoning. It's one step up from general commercial. So again, I-1 is where you start to be able to have some processing or industrial or manufacturing type uses.
Cutting the granite and.
Yeah, and that, and even processing of, even outside of this specific use, processing of different materials, and you get more raw materials and that. And then we have I-2, which is our general industrial, and that's for your most intensive uses. So that would be like a cement batch plant and, those type of uses and that. So it's basically one step above general commercial.
This says that notification letters were mailed to property owners within 300 feet of this
Yes.
property. Did you hear back from any?
No, I
others?
did not get any letters or phone calls. I'm not sure in the audience if there's anybody here, but I did not receive any letters or phone calls.
Okay, thank you.
On that note, do we have any comments from the public or questions? No? Okay.
I make a motion to approve with the conditions outlined.
Second.
And Lloyd second, all right. Brent Linford,
Yes?
Kaylee Mills,
Yes.
Aaron Rooney,
Yes.
and Lloyd Lentz.
Yes.
Thank you. 4-0.
All right. Next, we have PC application 24-03, discussion and possible action on a request to rezone properties from R1 to R2 PUD for a 3-unit residential development and allow for each unit to be a manufactured home for a 2.3 acre and a 0.7 acre property located at 120 West Lakewood Drive. No exceptions are being requested through the PUD. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, this is the one where it was kind of trying to take a lot of information and try to find an appropriate path for, the applicant to try to get down the road that they were looking for. So having said that, the first thing they were looking to do was on the existing larger lot, the 2-acre lot, there's an existing home there. And they wanted to put another home on there. It was actually, one of the daughters lives there, and the parent wants to put a home on that property. But it's zoned R1, so obviously that only allows one dwelling unit. On top of that, they're looking to, as it indicated, a manufactured home. On the smaller parcel, that's also another family member that owns that, and they were looking to also put a manufactured home. And so our code doesn't allow outright or by right manufactured or mobile homes anywhere within the community, so that's a special use permit. But again, since we're looking at putting two homes on the one property, we decided to go the R2 route, which would allow for more than one unit on the property. And so going through the PUD process would give some security to the R2 zoning, because it would be limited to basically the 3 units that they're looking at, whereas if we had gone to a straight R2 rezone, they could sell it and somebody could come in and put multiple units on there in that. So the PUD binds that to, again, just what they're looking at. And then obviously, as Mr. Rooney had indicated, if down the road they were looking to put any type of additional units or stuff, they would have to come through this process. So with that said, in the pictures that were provided in the packet are the actual pictures of the homes that they want to put on the property. I won't go into detail on my analysis and some of the considerations. You guys obviously have had the opportunity to read that and can ask any questions. But based on the entire application, staff would recommend that the Planning Commission approve the planned unit development to allow for the following. The planned unit development is limited to a total of 3 housing units. The 2 proposed homes are allowed to be manufactured home as shown on the application. The approval allows for 2 units on the 2.3 acre parcel or the larger parcel, and then the standard condition that I just mentioned, that if they do make any changes, they'd have to come back through this process. So with that, I'll give it back to the commission if you have any questions. If not, I think we do have people here that may want to speak. But the owner applicant is here as well.
Okay. Would the applicant mind stepping forward? I have some questions. Well, one question.
You need to be at the microphone.
Yeah, if you could come up to the podium, thank you.
First, thank you for coming and congratulations with the big life changes. But the units are going to be new,
Brand
correct?
new, yes.
Brand new. That's wonderful. That's my only concern is that they are new units, not that we're getting used units moved in from other areas. That, manufactured homes are great, but when they've been moved, there can be issues. Older units worry me a little bit, but I do like this as an
Yeah, and they
option for
will
y'all.
be in the ground,
Oh.
so they won't have like a skirt.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have a foundation.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And I believe, I may be mistaken, but I thought it was 3 acres.
It's total, because you do have the one parcel that's been split out, that's to the south.
And that's her.
Yeah, that's the separate parcel.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it's a total of 3 acres, but there's basically a 2.3 acre parcel and a 0.7 acre parcel.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's a 1,800 square foot house that my daughter lives
Yep.
in, who owns the property. And we are wanting to move from Stillwater. We're getting elderly and want to move by our kids so they can help take care of us. And so that's why we're doing it.
Wonderful. Well, welcome back to Guthrie.
I lived here over 50 years. I love Guthrie.
Well, we're glad to have you. Any other questions?
You say it will have a real foundation, right?
Yes,
As opposed to the typical block and pier.
right. That costs 10,000 more, but that's what we're doing.
That's how to get you.
Good job. Good job.
Well, that's all I have for questions.
I don't have anything else.
Could, staff, do you think it would be wise to put in, not that we create an issue down the road, for the grandfathering for, in the future, if someone wants to move in used units, do you think it would be good to add something about new?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah, because we could put in there that, we could put in there in that, and also since they're already going to do it, that they would have to be on a permanent foundation.
Okay.
Yeah.
That might
We
be
can add
something
those.
for city council then
Yeah.
to discuss?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. Do I have a motion? Oh,
I just want to verify that there, in case there's public here to speak, I didn't know if there was any public to speak on that. I just want
Good
to make
point.
sure.
public?
We're just neighbors and we're just here to support them.
Okay,
We just
okay,
live down a few houses down, so.
okay, perfect.
Wonderful.
I just want to make sure.
Well, I really like the homes that you all picked out. I think they look nice, and I think that it will go well on that property. I noticed that there's just a variety of homes in that area, and I think that those will fit well with all those. So I would make a motion to approve with the conditions that were outlined.
Yeah, and then, yeah, okay, perfect, in the added conditions.
Yes.
Got it.
Were there any other comments from?
Oh, I'm sorry, I did mention there was one letter of objection or concern that I did include in your packet, but that was the only letter, phone call, or any communication I got in opposition of the proposed use.
Okay.
Yes. Please step forward. That way we have you on record.
The neighbor right next door to my daughter came over and said he would be thrilled to have us there.
Great.
Okay, so I do have a motion with the conditions from Kaylee Mills. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second? Okay, perfect. So motion and a second. Brent Lifford,
Yes.
Kaylee Mills,
Yes.
Aaron Rooney,
Yes.
and Lloyd Lentz.
Yes.
Perfect, thank you, 4-0.
All right. That was our last application, concluding everything. Staff, do we have any further comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to announce or let the commission know that Shelby Vreeland has resigned from the commission. She had some work changes and kind of life changes, and so she unfortunately can no longer commit the time to be on the commission, and she felt it would be best just to resign. So we do now again have an open position on the planning commission, so if you know of anybody or the public is interested in serving, they can submit an application, which is available online.
Wonderful. Commissioners, do we have any other comments for us?
Thank you guys for being here tonight.
Yes, thank you. And I just want to shamelessly plug the big initiative again. Congratulations. If anybody has vacant lots and they're looking to fill them up, we have some wonderful new incentives. And you just need to see our planning department to hear about them. So with that, I adjourn this meeting.